Hey everyone, I'm the Canadian Lad, and I just watched the first official teaser of Superman at 0.25x speed, and boy does it look good. I've always been a big fan of James Gunn, and it really seems like he's not holding back with this one. I absolutely love how the trailer kicks off with Superman at his lowest point, but ends with him soaring into the sky. Usually a trailer shows us the brighter side first, and then gets darker, but here they flip that on its head and it works perfectly. Now without any further ado, let's begin our breakdown. Number 1. Superman crash lands and we see him bleeding. He tells Krypto the Superdog to take him home, and Krypto adorably drags him by the cape. This already implies wherever this home is, it has to be nearby, aka the Fortress of Solitude, because Krypto obviously wouldn't be dragging Superman like this to a different city or location. Now the Fortress of Solitude is a home base for Superman in the comics, and by extension other heroes in the Superman family. It's usually located in the Arctic, and that fits perfectly with the snowy environment that we see here. Also, Krypto the Superdog has the same powers as Superman. He has super strength, flight, and can hear Superman's whistle from anywhere in the world. Number 2. The way Superman is bleeding here leads me to believe whoever he fought against has the ability to overpower him. So the rumors could in fact be true, where we might see an evil version of Superman as the main baddie of this movie, created by Lex Luther. More about this when I get there. Number 3. Clark Kent and Superman actually look like two different persons, so it seems like David Cornsweet nailed both roles. We can see him physically making himself appear a bit shorter by crouching ever so slightly while walking. The OG Christopher Reeves actually did something similar when he would play Clark Kent, but then switch his posture, transforming himself significantly into Superman. And that's what I like about this Clark Kent too. He's clumsy and nerdy, wears oversized suits, and has a completely different hairstyle. We can no longer question why people don't recognize that they're the same person. Number 4. Beck Bennett plays sports reporter Steve Lombard, the guy rocking a huge mustache. In the comics, Steve is always cracking jokes at Clark's expense, just to look cooler in front of the female co-workers at the Daily Planet. We get a glimpse of this when Clark bumps into Steve, and he's all dramatic, throwing his hands up in the air like he's totally fed up with Clark. Number 5. Clark Kent's bulletin board has a few interesting details. In the top left corner, there's an article titled Navigating Environmental Justice on Metropolis. On the top right, there's a photo of a group of people, maybe from a movie or a band. Clark also has several to-do lists, and this blue sticky note says "Call Ma," which is both sweet and funny. It kinda shows that he gets so caught up going back and forth between Superman and Clark Kent that he almost has to remind himself to check in on his mother. Number 6. When we see Clark Kent for the first time, he has today's issue of the Daily Planet on his hands. Notice the headline reads, "Hammer of Baravia creates havoc downtown." But notice the picture underneath it. It looks like the character Gorilla Grodd from the comics. So Grodd could be the Hammer of Baravia who's attacking it. This also means we're getting our first Flash villain in this new DCU. Number 7. In the scene where Superman saves this girl from this gigantic monster, who we later get a much better view of, but for the moment, let's focus on this scene. Notice how Superman gently holds her head down to protect it from the falling debris. But there's also another reason, and that is Superman came to her rescue at super speed, so the girl's body would experience sudden acceleration as soon as he made contact. By holding her head, he minimizes the risk of whiplash, or brain injury due to the rapid change in motion. And the neck is part of the spine, and sudden movements can cause spinal cord injuries. So supporting her head like this helps to keep her spine aligned, reducing the risk of such injuries. Number 8. Krypto has the Superman logo on both his collar and his cape. Even Superman's cape now has the logo too. This is a big nod to All-Star Superman comics. James Gunn mentioned in an interview that this movie will be heavily influenced by that comic. Number 9. Lex Luther, played by Nicholas Hoult, is described by James Gunn as a brilliant scientific mind, but still very evil. And by the start of the movie, he has already started his deep hatred for Superman. Notice his company is called the Luthor Corp instead of the usual Lex Corp we see in most Superman stories. This is a reference to Smallville series that ran through the early 2000s, where the company was also called the Luthor Corp. It was founded by Lex's father, Lionel. It will be interesting to see if this movie keeps that same backstory. Number 10. In a behind-the-scenes footage, we see a mysterious character in black with a U logo on his chest. Now the internet was quick to theorize that this could be Ultraman, but I think this is a clone of Superman created by Lex Luthor. If you notice the size of all the characters, this character and Superman are the only two of similar size, while the rest of the characters, including the military, don't even come close. Plus, the way they decided to cover him up with this black costume tells me that this is gonna be some big reveal in the movie where we learn that this character is also played by David Cornsweet. Take a look at what James Gunn shared on Instagram back in April 18th, the day Superman made his debut in 1938. In the photo, photo, we can clearly see David's eyebrows have been bleached to blonde. And now take a look at this scene from the trailer where Superman is fighting the same character in the Guardians progressive field. This guy is almost a match for Superman in strength and powers. No ordinary villain would push Superman to work that hard in a fight. So yes, this could be David under the mask playing the role of an evil Superman. Now whether Lex calls him Ultraman or Ulysses remains to be seen, which would explain the U in his suit. Number 11. Over at Luthor Corp, we can see a female figure climbing a ladder to get inside the building. The black costume, the threaded hairstyle, all point towards this character beside evil Superman. This is the Engineer, a character whose body is made of liquid machinery that can shift into various weapons. Her being in the same building implies that she is in fact working for Lex. This further supports my theory that Lex and his team could be behind a plot where they have somehow stripped Superman of his powers and possibly even arrested him. Number 12. We see Superman breaking a glass with a slow motion punch. Now what if I tell you they're not zooming out in this scene and the effect that we see here is completely practical, captured in an actual camera? James Gunn and cinematographer Henry Bram shot this scene using a Leica Tri-Elmer lens, which has 3 wide-angle lenses built into one: 16mm, 18mm, and 21mm. So what this does is, it allows the filmmaker to switch lenses in the middle of filming instead of zooming in or out in post-production. And that's exactly what's happening here in this shot. They're not zooming out, they're just moving left to right while making the lens wider, which gives the effect of zooming out without losing quality of the image. This is the first time this lens has been used in a comic book film. Had they not used this lens, this entire shot would have to be made using CGI, which might reduce the overall quality of the shot. The glass shattering is made with CGI, not the camera movement. This is by far my favorite detail from the trailer because you know I'm a sucker for this visual details. Big thanks to Patrick for sharing this detail. Number 13. We see Superman kneeling beside a damaged humanoid robot. Notice this robot has a blue cape, which is a clear sign that it's Kelex, a Kryptonian service robot. Kelex was originally created for younger Jor-El and later passed down to his son Kal-El to serve as the caretaker of the Fortress of Solitude. And we can also see the Solitude behind them in the shot. But it looks like the robot will die, and because Superman has an emotional connection to it, that's why he's crying here. Number 14. The Baravian News Report is being shown on GBS News, the same network that appeared in Creature Commandos, the new TV series set in the DCU. Number 15. This mysterious purple energy blast seen outside the window is actually part of the movie, and not just a promo they shot for the film. However, there's now more green to it, indicating Green Lantern might be trying to bring it under control. This could very well be Solaris, the rogue son introduced by Grant Morrison in DC 1 Million. Known as the Tyrant Son or the Evil Star, Solaris in the comics has the ability to exert a neutron gravity pull, threatening to pull entire planets out of their orbits and into its own. Now notice the way Superman looks at Lois Lane in this scene. He seems to be on the verge of giving up, but Lois is there to remind him of his role as Metropolis's beacon of hope, pushing him to keep fighting. Number 16. We get a close-up shot of Superman literally pushing this kaiju with his bare hands. Number 17. Superman walks into a building after it seems like the general public has completely turned against him, something we haven't really seen in live-action Superman films before. Up until now, he has only been hated by certain individuals or specific groups, not the entire public. This could mean Superman has made some major mistakes, or perhaps evil Superman has completely destroyed his reputation in their eyes. Now, if we take a closer look at his torn suit, it could be from the blazing fire caused by this monster, which might also explain why the public is blaming him for the destruction of Metropolis. Now, inside the building, there's a big Easter egg of Stag Industries. In the comics, this is a company run by billionaire antagonist Simon Stagg. Simon's daughter, Sapphire, falls in love with Rex Mason, and then Simon turns Rex into the disfigured hero Metamorpho, who we later see in the trailer as well. Number 18. We get our first look at Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, the Green Lantern with a bowl cut. He uses his Green Lantern ring to block off the windows of the lobby in order to buy some privacy for Superman. In the background, we also spot Mr. Terrific and Hawkgirl. Number 19. We get a full-length shot of Mr. Terrific, who will have a major role in the film. Here it looks like Mr. Terrific might be protecting Lois by using a T-sphere around them. Mr. Terrific in the comics can basically master any skills he wants. He's like the Taskmaster, but not only limited to physical aspects. And notice how all 3 of their suits look similar, indicating they might be made by the same guy or company. Number 20. We see Superman and Lois sharing a kiss mid-air, and while it may not be a major visual detail, I just have to mention how much I love this moment from the film. It's something we've been missing in recent superhero movies, especially from Marvel. Back in the day, we got hooked on love stories like Tony and Pepper's or Steve and Peggy's, but that kind of genuine heartfelt romance seems to have been pushed aside in modern superhero films. That's what makes James Gunn so special. He's bringing that back, and bringing that back with two incredible powerful characters who can teach the next generation the true value of love and what it means to be there for each other. The trailer heavily focuses on three characters, Superman, Lois, and Lex, but what really caught my attention is the love story between the two main characters. It's not just happening to add more flair and glamour into the film, their love story is part of the plot too. Henry Cavill's love story with Amy Adams in Man of Steel was one of my favorite parts of that movie, and it looks like we're gonna get even more of that in this new iteration. Growing up, my dad would tell me stories about Superman, and experiencing this again as an adult feels so refreshing. When this young child plants a flag in the sand and calls for Superman, it genuinely touched my heart. I've been waiting for a Superman movie like this for so long, and to finally witness something so powerful, I think I got a little teary-eyed. James Gunn has this incredible ability to make me cry and smile at the same time whenever I watch his films. I remember shedding a tear in the theater during Guardians 3 when Dog Days Are Over started playing. James really knows how to connect with the audience and give them what they truly want. This movie looks fantastic, and I feel it can only go up from here. And with that, I'm the Canadian Lad. Keep looking up.